Here we go. Hello. It's not elegant, but it works, and I can hear him. So this is what we're going to do. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it so much. We will now carry on with our show. Tonight, I have ufologist William Pullin. He's from San Antonio, Texas. He's a UFO historian. He's involved in his local MUFON group there in San Antonio. He also has a group on Facebook called UFO Real, and that's UFO in caps, apostrophe REAL question mark, UFO Real. And I think that's hilarious. William, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I like the way you took the time to spell out that name. Outrageous.
Yeah. Well, you know, the things are spelled different ways, and we want people to be able to find you. So that's what I wanted to do. I'm going to skip over some of this intro stuff since we're late. Okay. I'm just going to jump into a segment called 5 Questions in 5 Minutes, and we'll just keep this show rolling. So these are going to be 5 questions in 5 minutes, and just answer to them to the best of your ability, and we'll see how this goes.
You got it.
All right. The music will be humming in the background, so we have to kind of beat the clock on that. It'll be cool. Okay. All right. So question number 1 of 5 questions in 5 minutes. If you were stranded at sea in a raft with 3 other people, and one person had to be dumped overboard in order for the remaining 3 of you to live, who would you throw out? David Wilcock, Corey Good, or Emery Smith?
You've left me with one choice out of those 3? That's horrible. I'll go Corey Good.
Corey Good?
Because of time constraints.
We have 5 minutes, but is there a reason why you would pick him out of the 3?
The reasoning holds true to all 3 in my book. Again, that's just my opinion. But again, you've left me one choice of one person, so I've got to pick one. So I guess I could
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, if that situation was day by day, I could pick a different one each day. But
yeah. Or go with all 3 of them and have all the food for yourself.
This is true. I think actually that's what would transpire. You know.
Ultimately, I understand. Yeah. All right. Question number 2. In your opinion, which is the most important UFO case and why?
Oh gosh. Well, you know, when it comes down to getting the public involved in the UFO issue, you could say Reynolds from Forest, you could say Roswell, Phoenix Lights, some of these larger cases that have been really covered by the media. Mm-hmm. But for my UFO historian angle, I'm really into the Exeter, New Hampshire case of 66, which isn't known as much, but it's a really important case. So
cool. If you could forcibly shave off Giorgio Tsoukalos's hair and make a meme out of that, would you do it? Why or why not?
No, because I can appreciate his look. He actually pulls it off with some level of professionalism. So I'd leave it be. I mean, I've got a bit of facial hair myself, so I can't really I can't critique him that harshly. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Which ufologist would you most like to have beers with? If you drink beer, I guess I'm making an assumption on that one.
I do. I drink a few beers. Well, he's passed on, but Dr. Jalen Hynek, he's my first choice. Leaving ufologist, Dr. Kevin Randall.
Cool. Why is that?
He's a nuts and bolts guy. He's not afraid to admit when he's wrong. He's evidence-based as opposed to belief-based. And I've met him on multiple occasions. He's very, very personable, very laid-back guy, so easy to talk to.
Cool.
So that usually translates to easy to drink with. So there you have it.
That's true. And the last question, for the sake of argument, let's assume that your comfort and survival would be guaranteed. Would you travel to an alien planet with aliens, but you had to stay there for 5 years before you could come back? Would you do that?
Yeah. And you want the reasons why? Oh gosh, let me see. Well, I mean, I've lived my whole life on this wonderful blue planet, but to get to live somewhere else for 5 years, guaranteed I'm going to come back safe. Friends and family will still be here, and I'll still have my book collection here in my office. I'd go, sure.
Awesome.
That's an opportunity you couldn't pass up.
Very cool. All right. Well, that was 5 questions and 6 minutes. But I
apologize.
No. Trust me, after this start that we've had, that's nothing. So we'll move right along. Wow. There's nothing like winging it, folks. You think this looks easy, or maybe you don't think this looks easy, and it's not easy, but I'm not complaining because I'm still having fun, and I learned a lesson, and I know how to fix the audio situation. I'll just have to do some shopping tomorrow. So we'll fix this technical glitch. I won't have to wear headphones, and then we'll be able to move forward. So what
you look good. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. You're the first guest on the show. I really appreciate you coming.
I'm very honored by that. I appreciate that very much. We've had a bit of contact on Facebook on and off, and but I appreciate the opportunity very much.
Yeah, I found you put a lot of polls up on your Facebook page for your group, and I just love answering those questions. And I always try to give you a cogent answer in the comments as well, not just select the poll answer, but also give you something, try to add something to the conversation, I suppose. And you have a lot of great people in that group. I see a lot of people with excellent responses. So I just want to give a thumbs up to everybody who's in the UFO Real group on Facebook. It's very cool.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I've got some really well grounded and members that are really informed about the issue. So their responses tend to be really informed and grounded, even if they don't all agree. Generally, they all agree to disagree, and they take different angles, different comments, different opinions. So they make my work pretty easy when it comes to that. So
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook, check out UFO Real. There's a question mark on there. It's cool. Now we are going to have a segment that is our Saturday night trivia question. And that is magic mushrooms, a high colonic, or both. I had put out on social media that I wanted people to come up with some creative answers on whether Alex Jones needs magic mushrooms, a high colonic, or both. And I'm looking for creative answers. I'm looking for details. If someone just chimes in and says both, that's kind of cutting it short. So I'm looking for details. I'm looking for a story. I'm looking for you, the viewer, to use your imagination and chime in and give us your answers. Although, I have to admit, I cannot see the chat room. But I'm sure that Professor Moriarty is going to send me some answers by text. That's what I'm hoping. So, Michael and Lori, if people are responding, please send me a text and let me know what those responses are. I can just go ahead and you can find me on Twitter. I'll go to Twitter. I'm on our Twitter page. And that's My Forces Live on Twitter. I'm right. Michael said a mushroom colonic. That would probably be pretty fast acting. Yeah. I do like that. That is so cool. Quick, here I am on My Forces Live on Twitter. I don't see anyone. We're just starting out, And so the chances that if I had 500 people on here, and there would be a bunch of people with Twitter, and I don't know what our numbers are right now. I don't know how many people. 8 people. There are 8 people watching. Hello to all 8 of you. And let's see. I know, right? We will dial this in. This will get smooth.
And with time, I mean, it's like any other kind of program. The more you do it, the more people tune in, and numbers grow, and word of mouth. So, it's your second show. So, yeah, you're doing great.
Right. Thank you. The technical stuff is we have a lot of technical things that are going right. Michael, on the other end, he really knows his stuff, and it's more about me getting my act together. And this headphone bit, I'm going to put it out there right now. This was all my fault because I suddenly realized that the audio signal coming back to me was not going to come back through my regular mixer. And I can't turn on my monitors in the room because that would create feedback from my microphone. So then I was like, just trying to think of a workaround, and here we are. So anyway, this segment is supposed to last for 15 minutes. But we don't really have any.
You're talking about the technical issues. I mean, virtually every time we start up our MUFON meetings in San Antonio, there's technical issues. I mean, it's par for the course. Either the microphone's not working, the internet is down, someone's computer crashes, someone's computer's not charged. So I get this inkling every time we start a meeting to say, okay, let's ditch all that and just talk word of mouth. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. But the room is there's too much volume in the room. So, a person's voice, my voice would carry. That's just because I have a big mouth. But beyond that, we need the technology. But, I totally get that. When technology doesn't cooperate, it's interesting.
Yeah, there's a certain MUFON group. I won't name who they are or where they are, but I've seen some videos of theirs online. And the audio is horrible. Like, it's so bad, like you really just can't stand to listen to the video, no matter who it is that's speaking. And
I get that. Yeah, unless you have a lecturer or presenter that really has a voice that carries and projects. Beyond that situation, you really do need the mic setup with an amp, but it doesn't always work out that way. So
that's right. So anyway, Alex Jones, magic mushrooms, a high colonic, or both?
I'll go with both.
You'll go with both?
I'll go with both. Yeah.
I would have to go with both too. But I like Michael's idea of the mushroom colonic. I think that would kind of do both things at once. Also, I guess I want to put this out there to the viewers. Saturday night, I kind of wanted to leave this segment open. I just kind of wanted to test drive this concept. Probably what's happening is I don't have enough viewers yet to really make this be driven by the viewers, with only 8 people out there, which I'm grateful for. But that's still, 8 people can answer a question or come up with something, and I'm going to have to get more people involved to get a wider variety of answers. And I understand that. That's okay. But I'm also open to letting viewers make suggestions on what we can do in this 15-minute segment on Saturday nights. I still want to stick with metaphysical trivia on Friday nights, and we're still doing deep geek trivia on Sunday night. But Saturday nights, I'm willing to listen to the viewers and listen to suggestions, and maybe we can come up with something that people are kind of universally interested in, and we don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over. Maybe we can change it up every Saturday night and think ahead on that. So if you have an idea for what we can do for trivia or some kind of interactive, creative responses from you, the viewer, on Saturday nights, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Twitter, and give us your suggestions. We'll take them seriously, and we'll try to get something going, because this show is supposed to be funny. And so far, there's nothing funny about technical problems.
No, it's a good time. It's a good time, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
the
like
numbers are great. It'll happen. Yeah, I will be chiming in all your future broadcasts, so that you'll be thinking, "Well, here goes the comment. Oh, that's William again." Okay, yeah, but I'll chime in and get the ball rolling. It's with membership improving. I mean, viewership going up. It'll take care of itself. So, you know.
Yep. So let me ask you a question. What is your opinion on the TTSA videos, on the videos they released? I'm kind of jumping tracks here,
Yeah,
but I'm trying to keep it
yeah.
interesting.
I've been kind of cautious about the whole scenario. Certainly, when the story broke in December of last year, um, it was treated in a serious way by the media, which is not usually how the UFO issue is treated by the media. Usually, it's tongue in cheek. So that certainly changed. It certainly brought the issue into a more serious light, and so journalists are treating it differently than they had before. So that's a concrete change in what's transpired the last 30, 40 years. Um, as far as the specifics of the videos and that sort of thing, there's been so much. There's been a certain amount of information that's been given out, but it seems like it's parceled out slowly, as if some entity, something about that group wants to control the speed at which information is given out,
Right.
which to me is can be problematic. But I'm a cautious guy, so it's kind of a wait and see attitude. We'll see. Hopefully, I'm hopeful it'll be successful. I mean, I don't wish any UFO investigative unit to fail per se, but I do
Right.
like honesty. I do like straightforward answers and information. And when I see a group holding back on information as much as holding back as how fast it's going to be released and that kind of scenario, it sounds like what the government does. The government
Right.
withholds information, and that leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth. But we'll wait and see what transpires. So,
Yeah, they're claiming that they're not sitting on information, that they've given us everything they have, but the hype and the build up to the release and then the responses they gave afterwards, kind of hinting that there's more to come. I guess as a member of the public seeing that, I just feel a little bit played by that. And, you know, I,
yeah.
I understand that they're trying to make money and they're claiming that they're trying to reach the non-UFO people. They're trying to reach the general public and get them to pay attention. But just
Yeah.
parsing that stuff out, in my opinion, is not the way to do that. What about
I
UFO
would tend to agree with
conferences?
that. Yeah. Yeah. I
What
would
about
tend to agree with
UFO
that. Yeah.
conferences? Okay, thanks. It kind of looped back there. Do you attend UFO conferences? And if you do or have, what's the last one you were at?
I go to Roswell every year, and to be honest, I'm not that I'm tired of the case, but it's been covered to the nth degree. It has been, but I go to Roswell every year for to reconnect with friends and researchers and spend time with people that I haven't seen in a year, and so it's more of a reunion type scenario. I occasionally go to Edinburgh, Texas, on the border south of San Antonio. There's a conference there. Gone to the UFO Congress in Arizona a few times. But try to stay home. Try to stay close to Texas as much as possible. It's really Roswell every year, and it was the last one I went to was Roswell in early July. It was interesting. It's always thought provoking, and there's always some new information.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always interesting to reconnect with these people, not for the research, but as friends, and see how their opinions and takes on the case have changed, and just ask them questions about what they think the state of the UFO community is at the time, because that's always in flux too. And the TTSA scenario has certainly had an influence on the community at large. So it's interesting to get their take because they're traveling all the time and I'm not. So it's always
Right.
fun. And they
Yeah.
sell beer in New Mexico too. So
Do they really?
it's outrageous, uncalled for.
I,
So
I wish I could have gone this year because of Stanton Friedman retiring.
yes,
I was, being here in the Phoenix area, I've been lucky enough to go to the UFO Congress that's organized by Open Minds and Alejandro Rojas. I've been there for the last 2 years. And
great guy.
Stanton didn't lecture this year, but he did have a table, and I saw him, and he lectured last year. And, you know, I have a lot of respect for him because he just kind of broke that whole thing wide open. And he was really putting himself out there when very few other people were doing that. And he, you know, he was out there in the media. He was on Larry King Live, and he was just kind of forging the path for lots of other people that were going to follow.
He did. Yes, he did. He was crash retrievals were not something that ufologists wanted to touch for decades. Len Stringfield changed that, and then Stanton Friedman, when he helped break the Roswell case, that really changed things. So, yeah, he did a lot of great work over his career, and more of a nuts and bolts ETH guy, but a great guy to talk to, personable, friendly, easy to connect with. I had tears in my eyes during the Roswell panel, which closed up the Roswell Festival. Stanton stood up and gave a speech, and everybody stood up and gave it a standing ovation. It was an emotional time. So we're trying to get him to Skype with us at MUFON San Antonio in 2 months. So we'll see what transpires. But yeah, great guy.
That would be awesome. Let us know. So have you come across any cases of UFOs that the general public doesn't know, or have any anecdotal stories of wild events or some kind of far out UFO experiences or sightings?
There's been some cases that haven't been really examined yet. I don't know if MUFON has assigned them case numbers yet. Black triangles being sighted in the greater San Antonio area. It's been reported in the local media, but again, not just in passing. Not really. The story's not really it doesn't really contain a lot of details, dates, names, times, things like that. So it's just a general story per se. Has it been assigned a number? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a member of MUFON, even though I'm working with the group. So we'll see if they end up getting assigned a case number. So that story's been running around in Texas, South Texas, for a while. So other stories in the UFO community, a lot of which are really just stories. They're ideas that are passed around for generation to generation. And have they been examined per se objectively? At times they haven't been, but the stories are popular and they're passed down, and what becomes legend ends up being accepted as fact, and that can be problematic. I can think of the Aztec case of '48, which seems to have legs, but I've yet to see a great amount of evidence to even lead me to the idea that it should be investigated. But there are ufologists, Stan Friedman is one, that feels that that's a legitimate case, and that's up for grabs. But it's always a lot of gray area when you're talking about UFOs, when it comes to what one person believes, what another person doesn't believe. It can be night and day. So it's interesting. It's thought-provoking at least.
Yeah. I myself have a little something. This is a little bit of a teaser, but I don't have a whole lot of information, and I'm trying to get more. But the person who witnessed the event is reticent to speak to me or even talk about what they saw. This is an older person, and I'm not going to go into how I know about this, but this concerns the 97, the Phoenix Lights. And this is someone from the Prescott area, Prescott, Arizona. It's not pronounced Prescott. They'll get on you if you say Prescott. It's Prescott, like biscuit. Too, yeah. And anyway, this person claims that they, along with some other people, saw the UFO stop, and people get off and people get on the UFO before it came down to Phoenix. And I have never heard anything about that. I've never heard any reference to that stopping, anyone having any kind of physical contact with the craft whatsoever. And I'm trying to see if I can get this person to come forward. This person does not want to talk to me. I kind of put that out there through one of their relatives. and I'm going to see if they will write down the account, or maybe hook me up with some other witnesses that they're talking about. That would be some incredible new information about the Phoenix Lights that
That would be, yeah.
If there are any details like that about the Phoenix Lights, I'm not aware of them. But, you know, it was tracked for a long way. Wickenburg is about 30 miles due west of my location. And, you know, it tracked down through and over Wickenburg and across the desert. And I drive out in this area all the time, and I frequently imagine, you know, what that would have been like to see that.
Yeah, we can imagine. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting.
And I'm with you. I have not heard any reports surrounding that 97 event that involve a landing or a sighting of occupants. So that's very interesting, especially if they can supply some other witnesses to make it multiple witnesses as opposed to just a single witness. That would go a long way. That's very interesting, because that whole scenario went by, and it was all about visually observing these craft going overhead, but no landings, no occupants, just visual sightings. So that's completely different from all the literature I've read. So that's you know,
yeah, it's pretty exciting. This person's in their 70s, and they are not into this stuff, and you know, this person doesn't want to put themselves out. But I will keep gently trying to coax this person into give me something. You know, you don't want to be pushy.
Not too gently.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
You got to keep pushing. Yeah, get after it. You know.
Something I do want to put out there just for the viewers is I'm going to be at Disclosure Con October 5th and 6th in Pine Top, Arizona. And I'm going to have the organizer of the event on the show tomorrow night. And we will not have these technical problems tomorrow. And I'm sorry that William was on a show where we had more problems, but we're slowly working this stuff out. Something else I want to say to the viewers is you can find the show on Twitter, and it's My Forces Live. And you can find the show on Facebook at Mysterious Forces Live with the exclamation point. You can find us on Instagram at Mysterious Forces Live. And you can find me on Snapchat. And that's My Forces Live as well. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. You can connect with me and the producers of the show. I'm very involved in the social networking aspect of this show. I like making contact with the viewers. I really want to hear from viewers. And I like that feedback. I like that interaction. That's a big part of this show. I mentioned it last night. And speaking of last night, I want to give a shout out to Ryan Sprague. He's the author of Somewhere in the Skies. And he watched last night's show, and he made a comment on YouTube. Ryan Sprague, you're awesome. You rock. Thank you for watching the show. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who's stuck with it. I think that tonight was the last of our technical glitches. We have a lot of other things ironed out, but the audio thing, that was all me. That's my bad. So there's no one else to blame but me.
You're good. You're good.
I'll own it. You know, I did it.
No, I'm thoroughly upset. It's preposterous. No. You're good. Yeah.
You'll have to come back on. I definitely want to have you come back on sometime. And
I'm at your disposal. So,
all right, that's cool. Have you written a book, or have you thought about writing a book?
You know, I've thought about it, but when this MUFON thing fell on my lap, they kind of voted me their vice president, even though I'm not a member. So it kind of fell on my lap, and the group needs. I'm making a strong effort to change things into a more scientific, grounded vein, the way they attack the UFO issue. So that's been a lot of my time, to the point where I haven't been as active with my group as I should be. So I just haven't had time with that. I'm speaking at a small UFO conference here in San Antonio, October 13th, and I've pretty much got to put together a paper and self-publish it to be able to hand out to the attendees there. So I guess I'll get to work at that at some point.
Okay, where can
between
people
now and
find
October 13th.
Where can people find information for that so they can check it out?
That's on Facebook. It's called, I believe it's Abduction Night UFOs over Texas. It's held October 13th, which will be a Saturday at the Brick at the Blue Star Arts Complex. As of right now, I'm the only lecturer, but I'm hoping that some other individuals from the area will come over and give their presentations also. So we'll see what transpires. But it's getting a lot of press in Facebook, and it's gotten some coverage on mysa.com here in town, which is the internet arm of the Express News. So it's getting coverage, and people are learning about it. So we'll see what transpires, what kind of numbers they draw. So I'm looking forward to it. So it should be fun.
Awesome. William Pullin, thank you so much for joining me on the show. You're welcome back to the show anytime. Thank you for the trivia questions that you provided.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank the viewers for sticking with us through all these technical glitches. This will get better. I dig this song, man. It's like you can't help but feel good when you hear this song.
Nice.
And I put this together.
Thanks again.
You're welcome, William. Thank you so much. Catch Mysterious Forces live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. My Forces live on Twitter, Mysterious Forces live on Facebook, Mysterious Forces live on Instagram, My Forces live on Snapchat. Please interact with me. Drop me a line, say hello, let me know what you think. And thank you so much for your time and attention. We'll see you tomorrow night. We will start on time, and we will not have any glitches. Thank you all so much. Good night.
Good night.